Yeah. I think we've kind of worked our way, gotten to that point a little bit for sure. Obviously Chris is such a great playmaker and draws so much attention. Coming off the screen in the pick and roll, he's great at reading that really quick and kind of even knowing what's going to happen almost before the play even starts.
Coach has talked about how important it is for you to mix it up, right? Get looks at the rim and then obviously continue to shoot it from the outside. How have you found lately that the more looks you get at the rim, it opens everything else up for you?
Yeah, I think it definitely does. I think that kind of just goes for the whole team. Honestly, just being assertive and aggressive, attacking the rim. I think it's really kind of a contagious thing. It kind of gets the ball moving. You penetrate, kick it, and just continues and continues, and keeps building. I think it's great for the whole team.
Jim Ozarski.
Hey, Brooke. Obviously, we haven't seen you here in a couple of days. So when you finally got the word that PJ coming in was official and formal, what was your, I guess, initial reaction to that acquisition, and maybe what did it signal from John Horst and front office that they would do that?
Yeah, I think it was just I was so thrilled initially. It was really exciting. I played with PJ a little bit, leading up to the World Cup, and then obviously I've played against him for years, and he's just such a talented player, smart, high IQ player, can shoot the lights out of the ball. But obviously most important for this team, he's going to bring such tenacity, ferocity, toughness on both sides of the ball, especially defensively. He just adds a whole another dimension of what we can do defensively.
Drew flat out said it the other night. He's like, look, it's about winning a championship, and PJ, that kind of player defensively can help us get there. Was that kind of I know that's been the long range goal, but that entered mind for you as well of, hey, okay, this is what it's about, come May, June, July, is winning a title and bringing in that kind of player.
Yeah, we absolutely realize it. We all realize that that's our goal, and having a player like PJ absolutely can turn the tide when it comes to that.
I do have a kind of an odd question, if you can reach in your memory banks to the beginning of your career. So back in 08, 9, 10, that era, regarding LeBron James specifically, I know teams tried to do the wall, keep him out of the paint and do that kind of thing. At least Boston did it. I know some other teams. The reason I bring it up is because obviously teams have tried that with Giannis, and trying to, and he's adding to his game and trying to play make out of that. I'm just wondering if back then you can recall, did you guys do that? Or was that part of the trying to prevent LeBron at that juncture to make him shoot, right? To make him play make as opposed to get to the rim.
Yeah. Obviously, he drew so much attention, or draws so much attention, but absolutely back then he definitely drew that much attention. We definitely tried to make him see multiple defenders, and if you had to pick which you would prefer LeBron to do, you would rather have him shoot from the perimeter. Obviously, he can knock down those shots, but that definitely was kind of the mindset there.
Yeah. Do you see Giannis a little bit try like the same sort of adjustments? I think LeBron back then when they went to Miami, it was, okay, I'm going to expand the game. You're going to do this to me. Is that part of what you see with Giannis too, with the mid range and the above the break three? I don't know if you could kind of tie those two together, or if I'm stretching there a little bit.
There's obviously a comparison, I think, in just the continued improvement, each and every season. You just think you see like this supremely talented player who's at the peak of his craft, and then they just keep getting better. It seems like every single season, and it's really impressive. And I think Giannis absolutely kind of has that to his game, where he just impresses you night after night. You see him do what feels like everything, and then he comes back the next season with more weapons in his arsenal, more things he can do. He comes back being an even smarter, more intelligent basketball player.
Thank you, Brooke.
Eric Name.
Brooke, as you know, I enjoy the X's and O's, and I'm fascinated by it. Feels so typically when we think of this, we think pick and roll, X, Y coordinates, but it feels like this year with the lob threat, there's the Z coordinate, right? Like you guys are throwing in that like kind of vertical threat. Was that something that you and Bud had like talked about, or because it does feel like there's been, I guess, kind of this emphasis on whether it's a lob from Chris to Giannis or from Chris to you, like you guys are trying to, it feel again, maybe this is just me, like you are trying to add that up down coordinate.
Yeah, it's honestly been something Bud's harped on for a few seasons now. Just me rolling more, me rolling into the basket, being a threat there more. I think this season it's been kind of, I don't know if easier or it's just been more natural to have it work that way. But maybe it's with the dunker. I don't know what it is, but it just, I feel like it's kind of fit more naturally. I don't really know honestly what it is, but just obviously guys making great plays out of that pick and roll situation, and then just rolling hard trying to get to the rim.
To follow up on Jim's question about PJ, or his series of questions about PJ, is there a competition to see who can be louder between you and him now on defense? Like it feels like that would be the type of competition you two could get into.
That's absolutely that's a competition that's good for the team, and I could definitely see it happening because, when you see PJ out on the floor, he's obviously trying to command the unit, have everyone on the same page, have everyone's back, help them out, and that's the same kind of vocal leader I try to be when I'm out there. So, I think he can obviously only help us. So we'll see.
I know when I wrote about it, I tend to think of you being on and then PJ maybe being small ball center. Like that might be like kind of the tactics that you would use. But we've seen you both on the floor together. When you are on the floor together, how does that chemistry combination, two quarterbacks kind of work?
I think it's been very natural, honestly. Obviously, I think it kind of reminds me of this Frazier quote from early in the series about eclectic design. He's talking about the furniture in his apartment. It's a lot of different high-end, these high-end pieces of furniture. And he talks about how eclectic design, if it's all truly really nice and high quality and good looking, it'll all match and go together. And I guess my mind went right there, but it's kind of the same way with great defenders, I think. Obviously, they're all going to find a way to work together. I think it's going to work pretty quickly together and be natural, like I said. And at the end of the day, whoever's calling a coverage, whether it be pick and roll or weak side or whatever it is, obviously your job as teammates to respect that and do what he says.
Okay, last one. Last night, about midway through the third quarter, Pacers run a Spain action. It looked like there was some confusion on you and Bryn switching, not switching. You and Bud discussed it for a long time afterwards. Was that discussion about the mix-up on the switch or not switch? Was that a discussion about you tipping out a defensive rebound that you could have grabbed? Like, kind of, can you take us inside that and what was going on there?
Yeah, it wasn't about the defensive rebound. It was about the initial pick and roll, and we were all switching, and I thought I saw something myself, and so Bud and I talked about it in the typical way we tend to talk about things.
Was that a situation where you're supposed to go under, what did you? Because I know McConnell kind of complicates things because he was the one that had the ball in the pick and roll.
I was supposed to switch on McConnell and I didn't, so I messed up my coverage there, but I thought I saw something, and I tried to. We talked about it once. You guys saw on the court, and then we talked about it on the sideline, and. It's what it is, but we're all moving forward and learning, and it's something that happened in the game, and it's a typical Brook Bud interaction.
Appreciate it, Brook. Thank you.
All right, let's do one more to David in Italy.
Hey, Brook, when you look back at what's changed in the last month, you guys winning 7 straight and 12 out of 13, what do you think made the difference?
I think we've just continued to have our pieces gel. I think we've been playing hard and, putting our best foot forward out there throughout the season. But I think we've been pretty successful at having the new guys integrate with the old guys. We've all kind of gotten used to our tendencies, learned each other's games and everything like that. And I think, especially on defensive end, we've kind of learned where everyone's strengths are at. And that's allowed us to build a stronger defense. It's only going to get better as the season continues.
All right, great. Thanks, Brooke.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, bud. Just got done talking to Brooke, and we were talking about your discussion in the middle of the third quarter last night about a switch, not switch, about TJ McConnell. And he had said, like, hey, I screwed up. I was supposed to switch. And then Bud and I discussed things how we typically discuss things. For you two, I've never gotten the sense that, like, you two hate each other, or like this isn't working out. Like, it's just how you two discuss things. What is it like to have a center, like a defensive quarterback like Brooke, that's that passionate, that sees things, that feels things, that wants to discuss things like that? Is it obnoxious? Is it fun for you? Like, how does it kind of work?
It's one of my absolute favorite things about coaching the Milwaukee Bucks and coaching Brooke. Like, it's just, he is incredible. And I think, I'm so appreciative of what he does defensively. It's just insane how good he is. And so, I occasionally tell him that, but not very often, because then I would be on the wrong side when we start to argue and fight. And so I don't want him to know that I think he's amazing. But it's in all honesty, like, I think the genuine passion for the defense and for being great, and what we want to do, and he and I joke about both of us being like a couple of volcanoes, and it's been there's been so many good things coaching here the last few years, but coaching Brooke, it's just, and his ability to lighten the mood in a film session where that could be talking, or we could be working on or discussing something else, and he can interject an opinion or come to throw a lifeline to someone else, and sometimes use humor, and it's just been incredibly important. And for me as a head coach, like, you need those guys in the locker room. You need that kind of conversation, and sometimes you disagree on things, and then you got to kind of work through it, and it's definitely been one of the beautiful things of Brooke and I here the last couple of years.
When you guys signed him, did you have any sense of that was what you were getting into, or do you know what I mean? Like, had you heard from other coaches?
No. Hey. The answer is no. I had no idea.
Okay.
Complete. Whatever. Just it's been a great revelation, and I was really excited about the shooting and the spacing, and he's incredibly talented offensively, and I must have just missed it. I don't know, but I had no idea the defender, the impact he was going to have on our team. So it's a credit to Brooke, really. He's just he's special.
Do you have a passion for early episodes of Frasier at all? Because Brooke used that as an analogy for me today to describe defense. So I'm curious, did you guys connect over Frasier at all, or no? Not familiar.
I actually do like Frasier. I probably like episodes early, middle, late. I'm good with Frasier, but I'm not sure Frasier and Brooke and I have crossed paths yet. So. It's down the road.
For future discussion.
Down the road, we have more to look forward to.
Jim Ozarski.
I don't quite know how to follow that.
Yeah, thank goodness somebody else is on this call.
Yeah, I do like Frasier as well, also, but I won't go there. I do have some housekeeping. Did Giannis and/or PJ were they able to practice today, or if so, what capacity?
Yeah, Giannis was able to practice, and PJ was able to practice.
Okay. Kind of get a better feel tomorrow if there's any shoot-arounds or anything in terms of whether they can play, or is that kind of to be determined?
Yeah, to be determined. We'll see, kind of how they feel coming out of the practice, and I'm not sure how we're going to list them. I think they may be listed as questionable. And then we'll just see how they feel in the morning.
So earlier in the year, when there was a losing streak, I think it was like 4 out of the 6. Many of the players talked about that while it was not fun, the adversity of that could help them down the line, like learning whether to play behind or to come back, things of that nature. And obviously now there's a good groove. As a coach, I don't know if you buy into such things, but I guess if you look at that and you look forward now, do you see the guys that they've come out of that better, or maybe there were lessons learned and applied now as it's going well? I don't know where you kind of, if that's a player mindset or how you view that kind of train of thought for them.
No, I mean, I think, most good teams and an NBA season, as long as it is and as much talent there is in this league, at some point you're gonna experience some adversity, very, very likely. And, how you respond to that is critical. And I think the response comes on a couple different layers. But, technically, what do you need to work on and do better, whether it be defensively or offensively, and just mentally, how are you going to respond when things don't go your way? And, your character, we talked about, your character usually shows when you experience some adversity, and, how do you respond? And in a playoff series, there's going to be ups and downs within that shortened, heightened period of time. And, so I definitely, I think it's, not just players. There's, how do you deal with adversity in life and how do you respond? It's important, and not always are you better because of it, but certainly the good teams, and the teams that, want to compete at a high level, they can turn adversity into a positive and be better when they come out on the other side.
Zora Stevenson.
Hey, Coach, going back to Brook for a second, we were talking to him, or Eric was asking him about rolling, and he said, yeah, Coach Bud is, kind of harped on that for a couple years now. And I don't know what's different about this year, but he just says it feels more natural. He said, maybe it's the dunker spot, but for whatever reason, it just feels more natural. Can you pinpoint why it may be working out for him this season as opposed to others?
No, I mean, there's maybe some, you really could nerd out on a few things that might be helping him and helping us. But I think it's just organically happened. I think, some subtle changes in personnel and, how they play and, what they may be doing with the ball in the pick and roll as he's setting the screen, after he sets the screen. I think Chris is, the ball's been in his hands a lot, more pick and rolls with Chris. And, so it's just, it's been good. I think the offense is a little bit different. The spacing's a little bit different, but it's all really subtle. And I think it is helping, Brook get to his roles. But like he said, we've really been on these guys to roll for 3 years. And they're human, and, they kind of mix it up. And, he's in a good place, and, it's great that he can do both.
Quick follow-up to that. You talked about kind of a lot of subtle changes here and there. Is that just one example of how just a small tweak can make a big difference when it comes to kind of the X's and O's of things, whether it's players doing something or coaches doing something?
Yeah, hopefully lots of small things, that just make sense can, hopefully, have a positive impact. And, I'm sure there's some areas where we've regressed, or, we could be better and things like that. So it's just an always evolving process. But, Brook has really come out of the break and been great, on both ends. And, so that's the more guys we have that, are a threat, that are playing aggressive, that the defense has got to account for, the better everybody is.
All right, one more to David in Italy.
Hey, Coach, when you look at the recent winning streak, 7 games and 12 out of 13, what do you think is what really changed and what made you a better team?
I mean, I don't know that it's one thing. I think just the unselfishness of the group, both defensively and offensively, they're really playing for each other. They're just really connected and together. And, I think our scrambling defensively, you know, while we talk, I actually think we're doing a better job of keeping the ball in front of us, keeping the ball out of the paint, you know, better. But if and when that does happen, then we're scrambling a little bit better. We're a little bit more active. And, you know, I think conversely on the other end, hopefully, you know, we're getting to the paint more. We're finishing. We're kicking and finding, you know, our teammates. We're just, you know, I think just playing, you know, competitive, unselfish basketball, and you know that there's all kinds of little things that go into that, and hopefully we can continue that. Thanks.
Thanks, Bud.